Welcome back to Career Day, where I give you tips, tricks, and tools on how to obtain, maintain, and succeed in your career. My name is Adasia, or Day for short, and today we are talking interviewing. More specifically, we're going to talk about 5 different tips on how to prep for video interviews. Now, these tips can be used for any interview, but there's 1 or 2 instances that are specifically for video interviewing. Now, take out your notepads and your pens because this is going to be heavy content. So number 1, first and foremost, you do your research, and that means you research what your job title would be if you got if you got the job, the company, and if you have that information, you research your interviewer. So I'm going to talk about them in 3 different categories. So in terms of your job position or your whatever you're applying to be, make sure that you fully understand what they are asking from the candidate, as your skill set, your experience, anything of that matter. You want to look into it and make sure you understand what they are going to ask you to do if you do get that job. I should say when, right? Because we're going to get that job. But just make sure that you are very aware of what the job entails. It could be pretty, self-explanatory if it's, whatever the job title might be, but some of them is a little iffy. So it's best to still do your research so you're very clear on what you are going to do and what the job entails. Granted, if you do not know, then I'm going to talk about that in another step. But make sure that you know what you're doing. And let me tell you, I've been in a position where I went to an interview and I didn't even know that what I went in for that's not what I expected. I ended up getting the job, but by the way, if you want that tea time, you want that discussion, I can tell you that story time. It's turned out well. Like I said, I still got the job, but do your research. So that's number 1, the company. You need to research the company in and out. That's historical information. You need to know where they started, how they are, where they are, what locations they have, anything that would interest you so it stays in here. Because I know when people used to tell me research the company, I had no idea what that meant. What do I really need to know about the company? Just get a good grasp of what the company does, what they're about, who they serve. You gotta do the digging. Just make sure that this company is actually someplace you want to work. And the third, if you do have the interviewer's information, well, the only thing they'll give you is their name. LinkedIn, that's a quick place to find them. Or you could just do a broad Google search. LinkedIn might come up. They might have their own website. They might pop up on the company's website. But obviously, to make sure that you are finding the right person, if that person's name is there, if it's on LinkedIn, make sure that company is actually on their profile to just ensure that that is the person that you are being interviewed with. When you research them, you check for similarities between them. Maybe you guys went to the same school. Maybe you studied the same thing. Maybe you worked at a company similar to each other before. Find some type of connection so you know what to talk about, you know what piques their interest when you do start talking to them. That is a quick bonus. You have to make sure the interviewer likes you. But that's it. We could talk about the actual, during the interview, what to do. So let me know in the comments section below if you want a video on that. But that's the part of research. Number 2, review your resume and experience. This might be self-explanatory. You should know what's on your resume, but for some people that don't really look at it like that, which you should, especially if you just turned in that resume, just review it again and check and compare it to the job posting. And you want to find similar experiences that match with what they're looking for. So when they ask you questions like, see, I don't want to get into this because that is more during the interview thing, but understand when you do that, that helps you during the interview. Again, I could do a whole video on that as well. But make sure that you just compare and contrast so you know what to focus on. Number 3, have questions ready for the interviewer. So that's what I was talking about in number 1. When you think about if you're not sure what the company does, if you're not sure what the position entails, that is a question that you would bring up to the interviewer, or any other question. If that person is somebody who will be working with you in the future, if you do get the job, there's a ton of questions you can ask them. What does it look like on 9, what's your regular work day look like? How will work-life balance? Like, there are plenty of questions that you can ask them. Any concerns that you have, you can ask them. Would I say bring up salary? Probably not. But again, we can talk about that in a different video. So number 4, apparel. Just because you are at home and you're doing a video interview does not mean you could come up casual. You dress with, well, I'm technically not in the best attire for an interview, but definitely a blazer and some type of collared or button down, some type of blouse. I mean, you can get away with this, but I mean, you can do it better. Granted, they cannot see your bottoms, like you guys cannot see mine. So use that at your own risk, depending on how the camera is laid out. You could probably get away with that. And just make sure the top is good. Last but not least, number 5, make sure that you have a quiet place set up for your interview. So it needs to be quiet, good lighting, good connection, so the video is not, going in and out. You need to make sure that that space is up to par. And also try to have a plain and simple background. I mean, I guess because everybody's at home now, it kind of is like, just do your best. Maybe you can get away with a Christmas tree in the background, who knows? But to be, so concentration isn't, all over the place. Try to stay in front of a clear, plain, simple, background. White, just plain. Yeah, those are all the tips that I have. Again, I can talk about what you should do during the interview stage. Just let me know down below in the comments and I will be able to go over that with you guys as well. But again, don't do this for me. Do this for your past self, your present self, and most importantly, your future self. And I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram at Career Day. Because as we're going into a new year, there's new content on both platforms. So to make sure that you are completely in tune and up to date with everything that is going on, please go ahead and follow that. And also subscribe if you haven't already. But new year, new goals. So just make sure that you're tuning in. And also just recap on all the videos. If you ain't watch everything, you need to go back and figure it out, because we got more coming. So you need to make sure that you're well caught up on all the content that has been posted already. So go ahead, go back. So I just want to take this time out to wish each and every one of you and your family a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays and a Happy New Year.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.